understanding, an in-depth understanding of who you are. Who is Munya? When someone says, Munya, tell me about yourself. When you have done self-awareness, it doesn't end by saying, my name is Munya, I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a coach, I'm whatever. It goes deeper. My name is Munya. I'm passionate about this. My strengths are in here, my weaknesses, my whatever. I want to become this person and all those things. It's an in-depth understanding of yourself, you know? So you are not told by someone to say, this you can do, this you can't. You really know yourself and you really believe in yourself and you really trust yourself and your capabilities. So when you really understand who you are so clear. You are clear even with your goals. What exactly do I want to do? What exactly do I want to become? What are my future plans? What are my plans currently? You know, where am I currently? Because you are always having this conversation with yourself. And conversations with ourselves are very important. You don't do it once off and then you say, you know what? I now know myself. We change even as people. Things that you used to love yesterday, last week, last year is not the same. I was telling somebody in a conversation, I said, you know what? My person that I've become now in my 40s is not the same person I was in my 20s. It's not the same person I was in my 30s. It's not the same person I was even in my late 30s. Because you change as a person, you change as an individual. And when you change, you don't need to be left behind with who you are, who you have become. You need to be up to date with yourself and continuously search yourself deep and say, who have I become? What am I? Who am I at this current moment? So it's something that you don't just say, me, I know myself. I can do this. I can do that. I don't like this. I have this strength. I have this knowledge. I lack here. I whatever. And that is who you were 10 years ago. It's not going to work. It's a continuous learning thing that you do with yourself. It's continuous conversations that you do with yourself and try to understand who you are at the present moment. So I have grouped the key focus areas for someone who wants to understand themselves. The first criteria, I've put it as your passion. What is it that you really love? What is it that you like? What is this thing that when you think about it, you even smile yourself? What really makes you tick? You know? So with me, before actually I started business without even understanding this self-awareness thing. I started my business in 2018. I didn't even understand this thing. I didn't even understand business because my circumstance of starting a business was so different. I never planned to get into business. I was not a person who wanted to go into business anytime, but that time, you know, I was satisfied being an accountant and going to work, but circumstances just happened. And I was forced out of employment quickly as soon as I could run out. And I had to start my business, right? So it was a very different scenario and it was a very difficult situation. So when I started, I didn't know. I was not prepared. It's not something I was looking forward to do. So I started thinking of a lot of things. Yes, I defaulted into being a consultant in accounting because of the qualification, the experience, and everything. But at the same time, I was trying other things, a lot of things actually. But I never did any of those businesses well, right? Because I didn't know who I am as a person. I didn't know my personality. I didn't know if I was matching with what I was doing. So sometimes you find that you are doing something. There's nothing wrong with the business idea. There's nothing wrong at all with what you are doing, but you are not aligning with that business idea. Your personality, you as a person, you are not aligning. There's things that you need to do. There is skills that you need to gain. There's a work that you need to do within yourself to align with that business so that you are successful in that area. So with me, I didn't know about that. I just knew and thought, you know what? Every business, everyone should be able to do any business. If some people are doing that business and is doing well, I need to also just do it and do it well. I never thought of saying, okay, there are certain things that I need to learn. There are certain things that I need to improve myself on. Let's say you are doing presentation, like you guys went forever, you always present, you always need to convince a client, you always need to convince someone to buy your product. Definitely you need to be able to present. You need to hone your presentation skills. You need to really understand how to sell, how to convince somebody. You need to understand how your product works so that when you tell somebody, they know they can believe the story. And you need to be very confident in your product, in whatever you are selling, right? So it's certain things that you as a person might be lacking. And you think, you know what, forever doesn't work. No, forever is for these few people and all that. It's because you are lacking the rules of the game. You know, I always tell people that everything has its rules. In whatever, let's say in soccer, in netball, in all these games, there is rules. For you to be able to do well in that, you need to follow the rules. Otherwise, you are given a red card, you are out of the game and you lose. It's the same with business. There is rules of the game, right? So you need to understand, what are my rules of the game, or in this business that I am, what are the rules? And those rules are those things like uh, improving your confidence, improving your presentation skills, believing in your product, using your product offered and understanding it so that when you present to somebody, they can see the authenticity of your story. You need to really know what your product does because you have experienced it yourself. So it's some of those things that can really make or break your business. It's not a bad idea, but it's you who's supposed to work on yourself. And you work on yourself when you know where you need to work, what you need to do, right? So, so that was my first one. The passion, the skill, the passion, the thing that makes you happy, right? The things that you really love doing. Like me, those who know me, who are very close to me, they know me, I love interior design. I love it. It has been my hobby. I used to just do renovations. If someone wants to do renovations, I'll just go there and, try to assist them. It's something that I really loved. It was inborn. It's inborn in me. It's even at home when I was growing up, I just would take things out of the house, start rearranging things, do all those things. It was with me. So it's something that I was drawn with. It's something that has been my gift, right? Uh, so I'm very passionate about it. And you know what? I even went to school to do interior design. So I'm an interior designer also by profession. And the reason why I did that, it was just to increase my knowledge, to really understand how it's really done. Even though I don't really do it as a business because of my other businesses that take a lot of my time. But with my Airbnb business, because I do Airbnbs, I do my own renovations, I do my own modifications, I do my own styling and everything. I do all my designs. But why did I start this? It was a passion. It was a burning thing that was in me as a hobby, which I said, you know what, this hobby, I can just turn it into something even more professional and understand it. So it's the same with what I'm trying to drive. You need to know, what is this? That is my passion. Because some of the business ideas, we get them from those things that we're passionate about. So even if I was not an accountant or I didn't really like accounting, I could be an interior designer because I love to do that. I love it so much. If you come to my house, you find piles and piles of home magazines. That's all I read. If I go into a shop, I look at home magazines. That's my passion. That's what I love. If you see me watching TV, I'm watching at home. If you see me on Instagram, it's home things. That's my passion. That's what I love. And everyone has their passion. Everyone has their gift that they were born with. That is just inborn, which you can start your business with. So whenever someone tells me, okay, what is it that I can do? What business can I do? I just say, go and do an introspection of yourself. Understand yourself. Look at your passions. With your passions, with whatever you love, that's where your business will come from. So obviously, we are not going to look at one single source of income. We always say that we always want to have various sources of income. So you can be having your forever business. You can also have another business. It's different things, but those things can emanate mostly from your passions. And I say the passions is the best because you really love this thing and the drive is always there. You love it. I know this other lady I coached last year. She loves cooking, that lady. And she always told me that, you know what, I can cook the whole day. I can try recipes. I'm just limited by money sometimes to buy things. And I'm like, so why are you here asking me about which business can I do? Because it's there with you. You know exactly. You are passionate about cooking. Then you should go and just get a professional qualification so that you do it professionally. And you start a business around cooking because that's what you love. And you do very well because it is your passion. So another thing, I'm not going to dwell so much because I can really talk about a lot on these passions and all that. But that is your first one. The second one is your frustrations, right? We have frustrations. We are not happy with everything and everyone and every circumstance. We know there are certain things, we are in that environment, yes, but we have frustrations. There are certain things that you really don't like. There are certain things that really make you angry or sad, or things that really make you upset. What are some of those frustrations? What are things that make you so frustrated? Dealing with lazy people, it frustrates you. Oh, dealing with me, I'm very fast. I'm very fast. So one frustration that I have, if I work with someone who is very slow, I get really frustrated. I want someone who's very fast and do things quickly because I am of the opinion that, you know what, for us to finish this, for what to do this, we need to do it fast and all that. That's why I'm a very fast person. So it's some of those frustrations. But even if there are frustrations, still, it does not necessarily mean your frustrations are things that you can't work around. There are certain frustrations that are actually weaknesses in themselves because you're not going to be able to work with people, right? So it becomes a weakness as well. You need to tolerate people. You need to be patient. You need to whatever. So I'm going to talk about it. But there are frustrations, You need to understand, I can't deal with people who ask one thing over and over again. That would be a frustration. So if you're that person, are you going to be able to do this business you want to do? Because you are going to meet these frustrations. Are you going to be able now to do that? If now it's who you are like that, and what can you do? Right? One thing a lot of people think I can do is selling, right? People will tell me, Munya, I think you can convince anyone to buy anything. You love to talk to people, you are very social, you fit in everywhere, you are whatever. I think you can sell. And I'm like, God, guys, you really don't know me. I can't sell. I can't do that. I can't manage many calls. I can't manage a lot of people at once. I'm not able to do that. Right? We don't usually use the word I can't and all that. So you say, okay, I'm limited in that or whatever. But yes, I'm so limited in that. I'm not able to handle all those things. So I cannot be a good salesperson. A good salesperson is supposed to be handling people, supposed to be talking to people. You are supposed to be able to talk, to convince people throughout the day and handle all those calls and handle all those inquiries. That is what will make you a good salespeople. So I'm not, and I know that very well. When it comes to something that needs to be sold, I'm like, no, I'm out. I can do presentations and all that for you, but I cannot be managing the sales. I cannot be managing the inquiries and all that. I'm a numbers person. I don't like writing, typing, and all those things a lot. So you know what? That's what I'm saying. Some of these frustrations, you need to also understand what these frustrations, are they not going to limit me? Because if you're like that, there's no way you're going to go into something that has got these frustrations and you're going to do well. because it's not who you are. Then the third one that I want to focus on is your strengths, right? We have strengths. Our strengths are different. Some people have that strength, some they are weak in that area and all that, right? So this is the reason why you need to know yourself, who you are exactly, because you are not the same with the next person. We are all different, and we are good, and we're the best in that version which we are in, as me, as you, as whatever, with your weaknesses, with your strength, with your whatever. And we're all great in that. But we are all different. Yes, we are different. So you have strengths. You want to understand what are your strengths. Are you a patient person? Are you very hardworking? Are you a creative person? Are you good with money? Are you whatever? You need to know your strengths, and you need to list all your strengths. Those strengths, obviously, they are going to help you even to grow yourself. You need to nurture and cultivate them because they are good for you, right? Those strengths are good for you. And with your strengths, you can also see what is best for you. What can you do? What is it that you can, how can you use your strengths to your advantage in your business? What is it going to add value in your life? All those strengths, how are they going to add value in your business? Because sometimes, because we don't have the time to do these conversations, we don't have time to understand ourselves. You don't even understand your strengths. There are some people who don't even know their strengths. They're just told by others, you know what, you're so good at this, you're very creative. They don't even know they are creative because they don't have time to understand themselves. To list down, you know what, me, I'm creative, I know. Me, I'm this, you know. This, I'm this, I know. This, I'm para, I'm whatever. I'm good at analysis. I'm good at figures. I'm good at this. I'm good, whatever. Your strengths. I'm very patient. I can work with people. I'm this, you know, I'm fast. I can do my work very fast. I can juggle around my tasks. You need to know your strengths. Because some of the strengths, some of the things that you are sitting on, which you can utilize in your business, are there. But you don't realize you are possessing those strengths that are very critical to your business, that are critical to your growth as a person, that are critical to your career or to whatever other area, or even to your relationship. So the strengths, you need to know your strengths. You need to list them down. Who are you as a person? What are your strengths? Right? The same way I've said passions, you find that you have a lot of passions. I'm also passionate with about fashion. I'm always looking at fashion trends. I'm always looking at things. It's something that I love. So when I look at myself, even before I even say what are the business that I can do or what other areas I can venture in, I know there's lots of them. And when I also look at my strengths, you are matching them. You see, okay, with this strength, with this passion, if I match them together, I will do something very well. You need also to match your passion with your skills, with your strengths, with whatever, right? So we have looked at the passions, we've looked at our frustrations, we've looked now on the strengths. You also need to look at your weaknesses. You are not a perfect person. We are never perfect. No one is perfect. We have weaknesses. But what I've realized, people feel like, no, I don't want to know my weaknesses because when I know my weaknesses, I'm going to make them look so big and, I'll be negative and all that. No, no, no. You need to understand your weaknesses because those are some of the things that are even hindering your growth. You need to understand you are not perfect. You need to understand that you have to work around those weaknesses because most of them you can work around them. Some of them you can work around them. Yes, there are some you cannot change. It's who you are and that's how you are. But there are some which you can change, which you can work on, right? I trained this guy. He was in my training class last year when I was doing the classes for business. And it's like, you know what? You are so right when you're talking about self-awareness. You know what? Me, I'm very good with business, right? I'm very good at what I do. But I realized that people will come and give me all these good feedback and all these things, but they don't really continue with business with me. I have been wondering, you know what? I'm very short-tempered. When someone starts asking questions, I feel like they're looking for faults, you know, instead of me just trying to say someone is wanting to understand something from me, I get so offensive. And you know what? I can't handle them. I end up just being so impatient, you know. So I think that is the reason why I was not able to do my business very well, because I know what I do very well. And I said, you know what? This is a very good realization that you've realized your weakness, because that is something that can hamper your growth. You will be good at what you do. You'll be very amazing at what you do. But this one weakness you have is what is dragging you down. And you need to look at it. That's the reason why I emphasize before you even think. I think, you know what, every business book, every business, whatever lesson, it should really emphasize on self-awareness. Now, since I started understanding self-awareness, since I started doing this, you know, I was not a motivational speaker myself. I never used to talk. I was more of an introvert. I was a numbers person, right? Since I was in school, I was very good in maths and all that. I'm a numbers person. I love numbers. And I never really wanted to talk to people and do whatever. I want to do my numbers, right? When I was in my accounting full-time working, I never used to talk to people. Like, I never used to present. I didn't even have the confidence myself to do presentations, to talk to people. And I felt, you know what, my English is not good. I can't do these things, you know, all these limiting beliefs and all these things, right? So I never used to be that person. But when I started business and I started understanding myself more, I realized, you know what, I'm very passionate about teaching. I'm very passionate about motivating. I love it. It makes me feel good. And then I said to myself, I can start teaching people. You know, I have a page that I started, which is Go Business Consultants. That page, when I started it, I had my own Go accounting page, because that's my business. I do accounting. So that was my main business. Then I said to myself, you know what? Sometimes I get so frustrated with certain things and all that, with text and stuff. I need somewhere to just go and do videos and whatever and distress. And that's when I started my page. It was called Business Excel with Munya. And I used to motivate people. I used to do it, but it was just for leisure, you know, as a way of distressing. Because I started realizing, you know what, I have this burning passion to empower people. I want people to be empowered, you know. So I started doing that. But then later, I started having people coming to me, you know, I bumped into a video, you know what, you are very passionate about this. I could relate with your energy. I could relate with the way you were speaking, how passionate you are with this thing. You know what, continue doing this and all that. Then I'm like, really? Just doing it for leisure, you know, I'm just doing it for luxury. So it was something that made me realize, you know what, I have this talent. I didn't know. It was when I started understanding, say, but yes, I love to talk. I love to motivate people. I love to do this. So I can really actually talk and all that. So what I'm trying to say is that you can also realize that certain things that are hidden, a lot of things, when you start doing this self-awareness practice. I'm told that I'm left with a few minutes, like 2 minutes. So guys, I need to So I was talking about the weaknesses. So you need to really know your weaknesses and work around your weaknesses. Then the last part is who do you want to become, right? Now that you have already done your assessment, you know your weaknesses, you have checked your strengths, you've checked whatever, you have a holistic picture of who you are. You now want to say, this is who I want to become. I want to improve on this area. I want to cultivate this strengths. I want to do whatever. So what do I do? That's when learning comes in. I want to learn more about this. I want to know how to manage my temper. I want to know how I can be patient. I want to understand grooming. I want to understand presentation skills. I want to be a better presenter, right? You know, that's when now you realize I have these gaps. That's who I want to become. So you start doing that. You start working around that. So guys, I cannot really take more of your time. Me, I can talk even 5 hours. If you want to listen to me for 5 hours, you can listen to me talking and talking. I love talking about business. So even in my book, there is a book that I've written, which is called Starting and Building a Profitable Business. I talked about all these things. I talked about self-awareness. I talked about marketing. I talked about branding. I talked about managing finances, business mindset, and all that. It's something that I came up with, understanding my journey also in business. What were some of the things that limited my growth? What are some of the things that made me not grow very fast because I was not aware of? So it's a book that I have. For those who would want my book, please let me know, because it's a business book. I've also covered self-awareness is my first chapter, because that's where I think everything evolves around. And those who are in Joburg, who are close in Johannesburg, I have an event on the 18th of May, which is a women conference empowerment event. And that's my event. Will be the main speaker there, and I'll be teaching a lot of business. We'll be having a workshop. So those who would like to attend my conference on 18th of May, I will be happy to see you. Thank you so much, guys. It was really nice chatting to you. I really enjoyed it, and have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, Hilda. Back to you.
Thank you so much,